Hi guys, just waiting for Thibault here. There we go.
Hello.
Hi, hello Paulo, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good?
Good. Wow, look, the weather looks great.
Yeah, it's there's not a single cloud around here, so it's pretty nice. It's very warm actually, but yeah, it's good. I don't think it can be
Fantastic.
as warm as Hong Kong, but how's things in Hong Kong?
Um, well, you keep very close contact with the media and the news here, so I'm sure you know after 1 or 2 days of this new restriction, which was to close all the restaurants. Now they have to reopen because it didn't look good. People had to eat on the street, I mean the whole phenomenon was just too overwhelming. So they had to reverse it, and now tomorrow the restaurants will now open again, and but only allowing two persons per table. So that's what's
Okay,
happening on the restaurant front. But masks are mandatory now, so everybody has to wear a mask. It's not easy, especially when you're doing exercise, jogging or things like that. I tried it today. I mean, I almost fainted, but I mean, all the swimming pools are closed, the beaches are closed, so the only exercise you can do is
yeah,
jogging. But
yeah.
then
I
you
guess
have to wear a
swimming with
mask.
a mask might be swimming with a mask might be tough though. So yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, so it's not an easy time. It's not an
Mm,
easy time.
yeah, yeah. I can
Yeah, yeah,
believe.
yeah.
I can believe. That could be that would be way nice if you guys could be around here and enjoy this beautiful weather together and those wines, of course. But
I was
yeah.
just checking the flights. There are actually flights coming to London, Frankfurt, and Amsterdam, but no
Okay.
flight to Paris, unfortunately.
No. Okay.
No,
Yes.
not from Cathay anyway. I don't know about Air France.
I think well for China, I think there's once per week now
Okay.
to go to Shanghai. But yeah. Anyway. Anyway, I think the thing is, if you really want to come here, you won't be quarantined for 2 weeks. That's the issue I would be facing if I was going to visit you. So I might just stay
Exactly.
where I am for now. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, enjoy the weather and enjoy your summer.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
let's let's get back to the real subject, the
Mm-hmm.
more important subject, which is of course Domaine Bonneau du Martray. So please give us a little bit of the background, the history, and the story about this magnificent estate.
So first, I'm gonna check if I can flip the camera because I think what I'm looking at is quite nice and gives you a hint of where we are. So here, basically, I'm facing the hill of Corton, right? So
Yeah,
this place is classified by UNESCO, so it's quite a unique place. And this is basically Bonneau du Martray's playground. If you go over there, here you're facing the village of Pernon-Vergelès, where the winery is. But I thought
yeah,
it would be way nicer to have this tasting outside. I mean, this talk outside than rather than in my office though. So over there, behind those
fantastic.
trees, you get the village of Alos Corton, which are the two villages here bearing the Corton Charlemagne appellation. And then
Yeah,
behind the hill, there's the third village called Ladois Séréné, which is also bearing Corton Charlemagne. And so basically here I'm looking at north and well behind that tree basically we have Bonne. So Bonne is pretty much 5 minutes away from here, and it's the last village, the last hill. This is the border between Côte de Nuit and Côte de Bonne. So Côte de Bonne being everything which is south of Bonne, and Côte de Nuit which everything which is north of Bonne. So here we're really at the border of it, and this is the only Grand Cru that can bear the only spot, sorry, that can bear two Grand Cru at the same time. So Corton for the reds and Corton Charlemagne for the whites. There's one more exceptions in the Musigny though, with the beautiful estate of Comte de Vogüé. So this place brings us way back. It's a place which I believe is full of history. This is pretty much the place where our emperor Charlemagne ordered to plant vineyards, and it was in the 8th century. And he gave those vineyards to the Benedictine monks in Saulieu, because the monks back in the days, they had the knowledge, the viticultural knowledge, as you can see in Champagne, for instance, with all the domes. So it was pretty much the same here, and they kept the land for approximately 1,000 years before it got sold to the national auction after the revolution. And afterwards, it early became in the hands of Charles Bonneau du Martray, which is one of the heir of Nicolas Rolin, which is the founding father of the Hospice de Beaune. So it stayed in the hands of Bonneau du Martray for 5 generations, and the land as we see it right now is pretty much, it's almost the same as it used to be. Back in the days, Bonneau du Martray used to own the entire Charlemagne climate, but with successions. Wow. With a few successions, then there's one son that decided to do something else than actually producing wine. But the other part of the family decided to keep it, and that's why it remained in the family hands for 5 generations until 2017, where Stan Kroenke, a wine lover, I would say, and a football fan as well, acquired the estate.
Be careful, there might be some Manchester United or Liverpool fans around, or Chelsea.
I guess they're luckier these days than Arsenal would be.
Arsenal, yeah.
But nothing really changed though. It got purchased 3 years ago, but the team remained the same. The vineyard manager has been hired by Jean-Charles like 15 years ago to conduct the estate into biodynamic farming. The winemaker has been here for 10 years. And 6 months ago, we celebrated the 25th anniversary of one of our members. So the team is the same. And I think that was out of mutual respect between both parts, and also because they simply bear the legacy. And this is simply what we're doing. We're bearing the legacy and try to write our own letters. But things is the same, philosophy is the same. We simply try to keep on translating the Corton Charlemagne terroir in bottles.
Fantastic. So you mentioned that the management team is more or less the same, but what has been changed in terms of perhaps some of the vineyard treatments, or things that are happening that you're experimenting in the cellar that have certainly you have made some progress there, and also of course the vineyard itself, which are having some replanting, I believe.
Yeah, it's a constant conversation actually. Whatever we do, we need to see the results and just be able to adapt whatever we do. It's not a, first, we're lucky not to be working with a blank page, but again, we don't play by the book. Everything that we do, we need to see what's going to be the result and how we can tweak things to improve it. The first, I think the best way for the team to learn was basically Jean-Charles was the best at it, because he realized back in the days that there was erosion problems on the hill, and after meeting a few different people, he realized that maybe biodynamic farming was the best way to prevent from having those erosion issues. But the idea was not to convert the estate right away within 3 or 5 years. When he hired this vineyard manager of ours, he was really ready to move everything right away, but they were very cautious and took their time to see actually how each plot would react to different farming. And instead of doing it in 5 years, it took almost 12 years to do it. It took over a decade to achieve this biodynamic certification, because we had to see how it works. It was from conventional passing to a part of the estate into organic, and another part in biodynamic to see how each plot would behave. Since the winemaker arrived, there's more lease intervention. We are more focused on the lease, on the aspect of texture and reduction that it provides to the wine. We are, of course, in the cellar, we are using different vessels right now to see how the wine behaves as well. So we have concrete eggs now, we have concrete amphora, we are doing experiment this year with a glass barrel.
Oh wow!
So there's quite a few things that we do, but again, everything that we do, we need to be very cautious. It's not out of a trend. It's not because this is successful this year that it's going to be successful the next year. So we just take it slow, each step at a time. But again, yeah, in the vineyard, of course, there's what is really key to us is to renew the vines, but not as a whole, but slowly by slowly, little by little. Because on the hill of Corton, we identified 3 different microclimates: from uphill, middle hill, and downhill, where the soil and subsoil composition are really different. And we have the chance to encompass those 3 microclimates, having 11 hectares of holdings from right below the road all the way to the road. So we need to maintain this 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 kind of balance between different terroirs. So we can't get rid of blocks or too many blocks from one microclimate to another, because it will disbalance the wine. And we really need to have this diversity of terroir to blend them all together to have something which is texture, boldness, everything that just, we need to have something really balanced. And this terroir right here is really helpful for us to achieve that.
2 questions. You mentioned that you're experimenting with amphora, with concrete eggs, and also the new glass barrels. Do they go into the final blend?
So the first experiment was in 2017, and yes, they did. Yes, they did, because 2017 was, for us at least, was the #1 vintage for this decade. Like, if you enjoy 2014, for us, this is an upgraded version of 2014. It has everything. It has this vibrancy. It has, like, we have in the cellar, we keep the barrels for 18 months. The wine is aging for 18 months, basically 12 months in barrels. Then we do our selection of barrels that we're going to keep, and then we're going to put them in tanks for another 6 months. We're going to rack them in tanks for another 6 months. But after those 12 months, we really select the barrels that we're going to keep. As I told you, we need to respect this harmony between the different terroirs. And it's really a year-on-year basis. If there's 1 year where maybe a warm vintage, like let's say 2018 was a warm vintage. Okay, let me go back in terms of terroir aspect. Uphill, we are very close to the bedrock. It's very shallow soil, mostly limestone. The wine profile will be rather sharp, rather mineral, rather chalky, not too complex, but very lean and precise. As you go in the mid slope, I can turn it on. Oh, you have the map on it.
Yeah.
As you go in the mid slope, there's more silt, marl, false marl, still a bit of a clear limestone, and that will give more texture to the wine, more dimensions to the wine. It will be still rather focused and precise, but will be slightly bigger. And as you go down a slope, this is a deeper soil with full of iron, which will really give the richness, the power of the wine. 2018 was a warm vintage. We didn't want to have too much power. We didn't want the wines to be too wide. We wanted to remain focused. So we had to dismiss approximately 20% of our barrels in order to have something, like I said, very complete and very expressive of the entirety of Corton Charlemagne terroir. So it's every year we do that, but in 2017 we didn't need to do that. 2017 was just perfect all the way. So we get everything, and yes, the experiments that we did with the concrete egg and concrete amphora was rather positive. So we kept it inside, because basically but it was not like on the entire property. It was just one plot that we thought was a bit weak. Yeah, I mean, the grapes from that plot was giving something a bit weak. So we put a part in it in a new oak, a part in a concrete egg, and a part in concrete amphora to see if it could actually extend. It would make, not still being very predictive and precise, but having more shoulders, more depth. And that's what the concrete egg and fry provided us. So we kept it.
Oh, okay. In terms of the vineyard, what's the elevation from the bottom to all the way at the top?
We have 50-meter elevation. We are between down the slope we are 280 meters and above we're 330 meters high. Which is good because this is quite a prime location. When we're there, basically we're often above the dwelling fog, so we don't have too much humidity, so we don't have too much disease pressure. And again, to give you a sense of location as well, Corton-Charlemagne is the only Grand Cru in Burgundy facing west and southwest. All the Grand Crus in Burgundy are facing east. And what is very key for us in this aspect is that if I flip the camera around, basically behind, so okay, you have one camera and pictures at the same spot. Okay, so behind those trees, basically the sun rises, and so from the east. So we just have in the morning. We just have a gentle light without the excessive heat that we would have if we were facing east. And we enjoy this sunshine all day long. Like if you were here with me today, the sunset would be behind me around 9:30 in the evening. So we really enjoy sunshine all day long. Without having the excessive heat that we could have in the morning. And here on the west, this is the valley of Pernon-Vergelès that funnels a lot of wind. So of course it cools down the area, but as well when we have rain showers, it dries the vines quite fast, so we don't have as well too much disease pressure. And of course the wood of Corton is classified. We can't touch it. We can't just rip the trees off to build a golf course if we wanted to, which is a good thing. But it helps drains water and bring some freshness and also richness in terms of ecosystem. So this is quite a prime location that we have here. So I believe that the Emperor Charlemagne was quite a wise and smart man back in the days.
So while you're holding this direction, can you tell me how far east and west you are, like left to right or right to left, your vineyard?
Okay, so if you see this plot, which is basically our gates are here. The gates are here. See the road which is coming up. This is our gates. The plot that you see here is a plot of Pinot Noir, which got ripped off last year. Then we're going to replant on Pinot Noir. This is the Hospice de Board. This is us. This is us all the way to the trees. You see so it gets blurry when I put my. No,
now it's fine. Now it's fine. Yeah.
If you see those trees here, so basically it goes all the way here. So we have all these blocks here, and then it goes up. You see that tree here? It goes all the way up here. Then we climb up. You can follow my finger. All the way to the wood. So basically we are 1/3 in En Charlemagne climate, which is En Charlemagne is the climate related to Pernon-Vergelès, and we have 2/3 in Le Charlemagne climate, which is related to Alox-Corton.
Alox. Okay.
Voilà.
Okay, brilliant.
Voilà. So yeah, we try to play with this plurality of terroir. We have 15 plots of Charlemagne that we vinify all separately and afterwards blend it all together to make what we think is the most complete expression of Corton-Charlemagne.
Okay.
So I can't see if you're having a drink on your side, but if you have, I hope you enjoy it.
I cheated. I jumped straight to the red because I had the white quite recently.
Okay, all right.
That's my Corton. Anyway, so let's. Well, thanks for all the introduction, and I'm sure we'll have more questions going forward. But let's go to the white, I guess the best vintage that we have seen, in this decade. I don't know about the 19, 18 I've tasted, which I also love, but 17 is a wine that is simply exceptional.
Yeah.
Please tell us why it was so exceptional in 2017. What exactly happened in that growing season?
That was that was the first vintage I got on board. I'm sure that has something to do with that. No. It's, I think we just had a perfect year. We don't have. Of course, there's a trend now. Unfortunately, there's a trend where we have milder and milder winters. So the vegetative cycle starts early and early, and then we have always risks of frost, the same way we had in 2016. We had some risk in 2017, but we didn't end up having any issues, any damage. So that was a positive one. We had a mild spring, a sunny spring, and of course we had a little bit of high, heat wave in summer, but that was not too stressful in terms of water or temperature. So it was just all the conditions helped us to have the right ripeness of our grapes in good sanitary conditions. And from all the different plots that we have uphill all the way down, we had early harvest. We started in the August 31st, I think, and we ended on the September 5th or 6th. But yeah, the sanitary condition and the maturity was just perfect. We managed to obtain something without dismissing any plot or any barrel. We had something which is very precise, very vibrant, very. I like what Jean-Charles used to say about Corton Charlemagne, that Corton Charlemagne usually gives you a sensation that the wine is mouth-filling, but it's never overwhelming. You have a sense that the wine is very present, very powerful, but also very precise, and it has this vibrancy, we call it liquid luminosity. You know, it's a place of sunshine, and we have this intensity, luminosity that brings the wine forward on the palate. That makes just a wine which is complete. We don't need to add anything. We don't need to. There's nothing missing. So it's almost boring because there's nothing to tell about this wine anymore. It's just to my eyes, it's just perfect in this way right now. There was really my go-to drink last summer already, and I like my wine when they have a bit of age. But last summer it was just freshly bottled, but it was already just amazing. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be a long-living wine that you can enjoy when it enters the more classic phase of or the classic phase of Corton Charlemagne, which is between 10, 15 years old. And I'm still going to be he's going to be a teenager at that time, I guess. But you have to be patient. And I'm
But
not so patient.
it's quite amazing how this wine is drinking from day one. I mean, you know, from the minute you bottle it's already showing a lot, but you know, you can tell that there's so much, you know, flavor, so much intensity at the core that it can, you know, age for a very long time. What other vintage would you compare this to?
Well, to me, of course, from the past vintages that we encountered, 2014, of course, is a vintage that I can easily associate because we have clear similarities in terms of profile. 2015 or 2015 is way bolder. The 2016 is more concentrates. 2018 is just got bottled, but it's showcasing something way more charming and maybe more dense as well. But yeah, to me, it stands on itself. 2017. The link that I can make is 2014. But then when I think backward, there's no vintage that will come to mind where I see a similar profile of wine.
Where would you put 2010?
10 was colder. 10 was colder. It's a wine which we start reopening at the estate. It's still quite tight. It's still very, in my opinion, it's a bit young, but I know we people like wines when they're very young. It starts to wake. But if I had to choose a vintage to open right now, that would be more 2011 than 2010.
I mean, 2010 seems to be a bit more, as you said, a bit more closed. Whereas, you know, I'm quite surprised at how 17 is showing such charm in this early stage. Do you think if it will close down?
Well, that's usually the case with our Corton Charlemagne, that it showcases a lot of charm. It's displaying a lot for the first 2 years, and then it closes down for another 5, and then it reopens on something more classic.
Mm.
I keep drinking 2017. Maybe it's too early to say, but I keep drinking them because I love them, and they're still singing. But you see, 2014 was kind of the case, and 2014 I find it a bit close now. And I'm not really touching those wines for now, but so it might close down. Yeah. That's usually the trend that we see for both our whites and reds.
Yeah. And do you decant it if you drink it early, like your 2017 now?
So the 2017, nope, I don't decant them at all, because it's really not something that I find necessary. To be honest, the 2018 I do. The 2018, I open them a day and just pour myself a glass, and I wait for the next day or the next 2 days, maybe 3 days to really go back to it. But 2017, no, it's really not necessary. No.
Okay. Someone just asked about the grapes in 2009, 2020. How are they looking?
We can have a look. Well, here, this is a plot. This is not at Bonneau du Martray that I'm standing, but I think this is a plot that belongs to Jacquet, and it's we're not in Charlemagne, but you can see how it's looking.
Nice.
Um,
So
we
we're
have
about
we
what,
have
1 month away?
Yeah, we are aiming around 20 to 25th of August. We have good sanitary conditions. We don't have any pressure. The only risk that we could have is maybe hail, but so far we are safe. The flowering was passed very fast, so we were lucky with that. So we have beautiful grapes. Let's see how generous this vintage can be, but we need a little bit of rain, I find.
Okay. And
It would be
and it's quite generous or not, this vintage?
so far. It's showcasing beautiful size grape, but it's not overly generous. No. We need some water. We need some water. Let's see how concentrated the grapes will be.
Okay.
But
Also,
so
yeah.
but to be honest, so far we're quite happy with the 2020. I think this is one of the things that actually make us smile this year, and there's not many things that make us smile. So we're not going to complain. Yeah.
And you guys probably have more time to work on the vineyards with fewer visitors.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
that also has a little bit of advantage.
Yeah, but during the confinement, we were supposed to have more seasonal workers, and because the context, we couldn't have all the people we needed. So we actually were way more busy during the confinement
Mm,
than usual. But we managed to handle things. We are very lucky in the sense that we only have one location. We only have the hill of Corton, so we never need to run in Meursault or in Vol-Romanée
yeah.
for whatever we're doing. So we have a team which is entirely dedicated to this place, which is 3 minutes away from our winery by tractor. So it's quite easy. It's quite comfortable.
Mm. Okay. Before we move to the red, do you want to say something about some of those, older releases or releases of some of the older wines? What is your treatment and any special labeling or anything like that?
We don't do any special labeling, but we of course, the vintages which are maybe 15, 20 plus years old, we want to make sure that when they leave our cellars, they are in perfect condition. So we taste them one by one in oxygen-free environments, and if they're showing a bit off, if they have any default, or if they don't showcase any emotions, then they're going to be dismissed. The ones that are in perfect conditions, then will be added a few drops of SO2 of sulfur, and then a new cork will be added. And we mentioned that this is a very excruciating process because it really takes a lot of time, and tasting bottles after bottle, it's not a, it sounds fun, but it's not. But I think it's important when we have a bottle lid, which is, maybe back in the days we used to drink our bottle only in Burgundy, but now we can drink them in the US, in Hong Kong, in South Africa, etc. So when you see a bottle which is 20 plus years, you might want to make sure where the bottle is from and its release date. So we mentioned that a bit, that process. We mentioned it on our back labels. Yeah.
Okay. And when you refill it with the same vintage?
Yeah, of course.
So you do it batch by batch? Is that how you do it?
We select basically we select the vintages that we like and that we want to offer to our partners. And of course, we all the time have special requests, anniversary date of birthdays, etc. So we try to select a few vintages, and in winter when we have a bit of time, then the team gathers and we do that. We taste. We have a special. We rent a special machinery to do that, to help us do that, and we taste them. We select and we taste. Yeah, so a batch of, let's say, 100 bottles of 1995, for instance, that we're going to taste one by one.
Okay, great. Well, for those of you who've seen them, they are fantastic wines. Of course, mature white Burgundies are can be tricky because we know that there was some pre-mux issue, but with all the meticulous checking and inspections coming from domains like Bonneau du Martray, you can be sure that some of these older bottles are kept perfectly in their cellar and then release back to the market, with a special back label, and of course with a new cork, and you can drink with almost guaranteed quality. So let's move on to the red, which I have in my glass already. What photo should I show? Maybe the cellar. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so please tell us about the red Corton.
So Corton, so you're having the 2016, I believe, which is
2016, correct?
Which is a rare gem because we lost, due to the frost, we lost 60% of our production on that
60%.
Yeah, 60. Because the thing is, 2016, I told you, I mentioned that there's a trend now designing our winters are milder and milder, and so the vegetative cycle started earlier. And April 27th, we had a frost wave that came from the west. Basically, if I show you here, basically, so as you can see, the big block, which is this planted, is one of our 3 blocks of Pinot. So we have this one, we have the one which is right above, and we have one which is here. So as you can see, they are at the bottom of the hill. And as you know, the cool waves always settle at the bottom. And so this is the valley of Perrin-Vergelès, and the wave of frost came from here, and then it went all the way down. So the thing is, with the erosion issues that we have, we put mid-level walls that kind of blocked as well the wave. It kind of settled everywhere on the hill. So we lost half of the production for the whites and more than half for the reds because of that. And like I said, it really settled down the hill. So it was more ravaging for the Pinots than the Chardonnays. And here we are still in the Le Charlemagne area. Unfortunately, we're the only estate now, I think, that still have some Pinot Noir in the area. I know Consenard had some, but my understanding is they ripped them off and put them into Chardonnay. I might be wrong, but I think. Because the thing is, this land is full of iron. It's truly red soil, which is really perfect for Pinots. The thing is, Corton, in terms of volume, is the biggest Grand Cru in Burgundy. To this date, is more than 100 hectares. Back in the days, it was maybe 130 hectares, and Charlemagne was approximately 30 hectares. Now Charlemagne is wrapping all around the hill, and it's around 60, 70 hectares of Charlemagne. So what you see here, those down the hill, everything here was all Pinot back in the days, and now it's all Chardonnay. And you have Corton Charlemagne, which is basically so everywhere. So basically on the west, southwest, south, and top of the hill on the east. So it's really facing different exposition right now. And back in the days, it was only just right here. So we kept our Corton. Actually, the father of Jean-Charles' father, Jean, also wanted to get rid of these Pinot Noir plots and put solely Corton Charlemagne. But Jean-Charles was really convinced that this terroir is perfect for Pinot Noir. So he kind of fought with his father and told him, look, if you don't know how to do Pinot Noir, it's your problem, but I'm going to show you that I can make something quite nice out of it. So they fought, and he started to displant a few plots of Pinot Noir to be planted in Chardonnay, but Jean-Charles managed to stop him from displanting everything, which is a good sign for us. So to this date, we have 3 blocks. The one which is displanted basically was planted in 1949. The plot that we have right above was planted in actually the plot which was planted in 1979 was the one on the east here, and this one was planted in 2007. And basically the plot which got planted in 2007, of course, there's a bit of massal from the earlier plots, and there's a clonal selection, but it really gives us power, funk, charm, fruit. This is quite an interesting profile. The block over there gives us more serious, gives us more tannins, more spices, and those two they really tag along well together. The block from 1949 was just getting a bit old. It was giving us juice, but nothing really appealing. So it was not reaching our Grand Cru standards as we see. So we decided to displant it, and we're going to replant it in a few years from now in Pinot as well. So for the next decade, we basically have those 2 tiny blocks. Basically, when I'm saying 2 blocks, actually this block is half a block, because the upper part is in Chardonnay and the down part is Pinot.
Okay.
So we have so far in Corton we have less than 1 hectare. We have maybe 90 hours.
Okay, so only 90 hours are in red.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, but as you mentioned earlier, only you are having any reds in this western part of
Yes.
Le Charlemagne. And all Charlemagne, is there any red?
Nope. No. All Charlemagne is only no.
Okay.
No. So if we wanted to be more precise, we would label our Corton Grand Cru Le Charlemagne. In the same way that you have Corton Les Renards, Corton Clos du Roi.
Right. Well, that would be really interesting.
Yeah, but it's kind of...
And you can confuse people even more.
That's maybe why it's not allowed. Exactly. Yeah, we might as well do it, right?
You know, I tasted a few of the older Corton reds from you, and they taste rather like a cool climate red. Whereas, of course, 16 is quite different because of the vintage. But what's going to be the new style? What are you trying to achieve with all these replanting and all that? What type of style will it be?
We want to make a wine which is more easily accessible, no matter its age. I believe in Corton. When you open a bottle of Corton, you taste it and you're like, oh, it's a bit tight, it's a bit austere, and maybe I need to wait for 10 years. And then you wait for 10 years, and then you open it again and you're like, oh, maybe I need to wait for another 10 years. And so I believe Corton is not an easy appellation. Here, what we're trying to do is to make a wine bolder. Some of our Corton can appear in the past can have been appeared, depending on the vintage, a bit weak. We want to make a wine which we want to harvest them with more ripeness. Jean-Charles was always worried that we will harvest too late. I think that's truly understandable for the whites. For the reds, I think waiting 1 or 2 more days can be really crucial for the ripeness that we have in our tanks afterwards. We work more on extraction. We start doing experiments with whole cluster. In 2018, we did an experiment with the plant that we displanted actually, where right before displanting it, basically we only selected a few the most beautiful grapes from that plot that we put in an amphora as a whole cluster for the entire winemaking and aging phase, and it really adds to the wine. Actually, it really brings an elevation of flower and fruit, something really charming and funky, and that's what we really want to make. We don't want to make only a wine serious, a wine with a bold and a strong structure. We want to make a wine with which is a bit more sensual, so a lot violets, red fruit aromas, which are more present than they could have been in the past. So that's really what we want to, the direction that we want to go in. And as you said, we are in the cool area of Corton, the hill of Corton. On the eastern part, where all the Cortons are located, this is kind of the warm spot. So here we have a cooler climate. We have, I believe, a different soil and subsoil as well. And I think we are more Côte de Nuit in style than Corton, to be honest. And we really want to have one which is deeper, but which is round and easily approachable in its early phase.
So you mentioned about the experiment with whole clusters in 2018. Did you continue with 19 and will you be doing it in 20? And did you actually include the 18 whole clusters in the blend in 18?
We did include it because we were really happy with the results. So of course we're gonna keep working on that. We keep experimenting, but again, this is not we don't play by the theory that we have. It's not because it worked this year that's going to work next year. So the thing is, we did it with that plot that we displanted. So basically we will need to select the grapes from the other plots. So it really depends on the vintage, the grape, its ripeness, and the profile of it to see if we would do it. But it was showcasing a good result. So of course we will keep working on it.
Okay, brilliant. And what would be, I mean, if we don't want to wait, 10 years and then another 10 years and then another 10 years to drink your cocktail, what do you think the newer releases of your cocktails, drinking window will be?
So you see, that's funny because when I joined the estates 3 years ago, we were tasting some bottles and I was thinking, if the wines, there's no point offering the wines to our partners if they are not ready. If we need to wait for 10 years, we might as well keep them in our cellar for 10 years and offering them afterwards when we think they are ready. So that was quite my opinion back then. But then we started and tasted wines with the team, with the winemaker, and actually the style that we are presenting is to really showcase a palette of aromas which is accessible right away. So it doesn't make sense to wait. Of course, it's like the 2018. If you have it right now, you can enjoy it for the next 2 years. I think it's going to be really singing. Then of course going to close down for more than a couple of years, for maybe 5 years before reopening. Like I said earlier, we see the same phenomenon with both our whites and reds, where they are really singing when they're very early, 2-3 first years. Then they close down. They're very reductive, and they reopen on something sometimes more interesting, more classic of our terroir.
Okay, brilliant. Are you drinking at all, or you don't have anything with you?
I'll go later.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Because it's 30 degrees here. It's maybe
wow,
not 30,
okay.
but yeah, that's hot. So if I have a glass with me, I need to pour it down.
Chill it down. Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, the inevitable question. I don't know whether you want to answer it. From our friend Vin Amu Nature. May I know more about the lease of Corton Charlemagne to DRC? Mm-hmm. Do you want to say anything about it? Where are the
Uh,
plots and what's the difference in vine age, elevation, soil? I don't know what you want to say or what you don't want to say.
I can say the reasons that made us go in this direction are like in deciding to offer some vines as a lease to DRC. When Stan acquired the estate, the first question that he asked the team is how can we make things better? How can we improve whatever we're doing at the estate? Um, there was a lot of trials that were already made in the cellar, and we kept doing it. And basically, to have a wine even more precise, we could achieve that by dismissing some plots. As you know, it's a matter of harmony. It's a matter of finding the right balance between the different plots. And sometimes when we only focus on certain blocks, we find that we didn't need the other ones. I'm not saying the other ones were not as good. I'm just saying that most of the time it was duplicates that we didn't need to achieve what we wanted to do. So actually, by dismissing a few plots, we were having something even more precise or even more satisfying in our perspective. And in the vineyards, to be efficiently working with the climatic evolutions in Burgundy, I mean, I guess in the world, you need to be more and more efficient. In biodynamic farming, you need to be even more efficient because whatever you do in biodynamic farming basically takes, as an average, 30% more time as a conventional practices. So we assessed that we needed one worker per hectare to work fully efficiently in the vineyard. We have 11 hectares and we have 6 workers. So we would need to double the staff, but to find the right people that understand what you're doing, because even when you think of biodynamic farming as a philosophy, there's always different opinions. And if you want to be efficient, you need to speak with one voice. And we are very happy with the team that we have because, like I said, most of them, they've been here for ages, like forever and ever. And like I said, the eldest member has been here for 25 years. So it says enough, I guess. And having new additions sometimes, and if you double the staff, it brings more confusion than actually the way it is right now. So we decided to maintain the team as it is. We were happy with the blends that we made in the cellar, and so we decided to dismiss a few blocks. Of course, we have to maintain the balance that we have in between the 3 different microclimates that we have. So basically uphill, mid-hill, and downhill. So we selected a few blocks that we offered to Aubert de Villaine, and because they have the same philosophy as us, I guess. They're working into a biodynamic farming. They're here for the long run. And I think this is going to be a beautiful PR for the entire Corton-Charlemagne appellation.
Did you guys select those plots together or separately, or how did you come up to those few plots?
We selected the plots.
You guys selected the plots, okay.
Yeah, of course.
Brilliant. Good. So I hope that answered your question. Any other questions from you guys? Feel free to ask.
So again, I
have a few minutes left.
I don't know if I said it, but we selected the blocks, and like I said, to respect the balance. There was blocks, tiny blocks from uphill, middle hill, and downhill. That was my point, and I don't know if I mentioned it properly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Great. There was the photo that you sent over to us. Which was this one? Is that yours or is that a mistake?
Oh, it's from Getty Image. Yeah. No, it's from Mars. No, it's from Mars. Yeah. It's for Mars. It's for our treatments.
I see. Okay. Your friend is saying something to you.
Ah yeah, Ferrero. I see. I'll see you in Bordeaux, Ferrero.
Okay. What else? You mentioned pretty much. Yeah, you did say something about 2020. So what's the plan for the remainder of the summer? If it all goes well, are you going on holiday or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm close. So there's always someone at the estates. now we're preparing, shipments. We might be preparing your order right now.
Okay, good.
All the treatments have been made. Everything is pretty much done here. Of course, there's always things to do here and there, but for the next couple of weeks, we need to prepare. Basically, what's going to keep us busy with is going to be next week. We need to prepare the winery, so we need to rack off the 2019. So in order to rack off the 2019 and put them in tanks, we need to finalize the blend. And like I said, select the barrels that we're going to keep and select the ones that actually we will dismiss, if ever there is. I hope there won't be any.
Will Armand be coming, or has he flown over already?
No. Borders are shut, so unfortunately he can't be with us for the harvest.
Oh, I see. Okay. And you can't fly over also, right?
Yeah, well, I don't want to go to into the US right now. I mean, I love the US, but I love health too. So I'm gonna stay here. No, I hope things gonna get better in the US very soon. And same for all of us here and at yours, because this year is really really weird. But, yeah.
Really weird, exactly.
Mm.
Well, okay, if there aren't any more questions from you guys, I'd like to thank you all for watching. You can always check back at IGTV with our conversation with Thibault from Bonneau du Martray. Oh, there is a question. Okay. Do you see any difference in the climate due to the lockdown, say cleaner air?
Well, we see it all over the world, but here I don't think this is really affecting us dramatically. No. I mean, we don't have much factories. Our cities are rather villages than cities, so I don't see any true impacts on here. Of course, you see it in cities, but here, no, not really.
We see it in Hong Kong for sure. I was out, in Sai Kung, the Sai Kung area. The water is like clear. You can see the bottom quite easily. And clearly, we're benefiting from less, boats and probably less plane, and the air is fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we don't like lockdowns. We don't like the pandemic for sure, but the environment, the weather is telling us something else.
Yeah. The pandemic seems to like us because it's not leaving.
Yeah.
Let's see now. Of course, the nature is taking its right back. So it's, I guess, for the best. But for how long?
Yeah.
We need to keep
Okay.
going. All right. Well, thanks for.
Thank you, Thibault. Say hi to everyone at the domain, and
Sure.
I wish you a nice summer and also a lovely harvest. We look forward to seeing you hopefully later this year, but we're just not sure whether we can fly or not. But for sure, you can see Estelle, who should be traveling to you in a few months' time.
Sure. Cool. All
Okay.
right. Speak soon.
Thanks,
Thanks for having me
Thibault.
again. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.